From WLWT, this is the Emmy Award-winning show, Let's Talk Cincy. Presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. Today, we're going to talk about a program that's been taking place now for 17 years. It's called the Fatherhood Initiative, you might say, and it's sponsored by Talbert House. Here with me, Josh Arnold, who is the president and CEO of Talbert House, and also Damon Meacham, who last year was one of the honorees with me. That was fun, huh?
It most definitely was.
Yeah.
It's experience.
Yeah. So Josh, take us back to letting people know, if they might not know, about Talbert House, its history, because this is just one of many programs.
Yeah, thanks, Curtis. Talbert House is a regional provider, social service provider that focuses on 5 different areas: mental health, substance abuse, community care, which is where we have our fatherhood program. We're also the 988 operator in town in that space. We also do community corrections services as well as housing services. And our focus is really to serve individuals in our community, in the region, that have needs that we can help those individuals.
Now, the fatherhood program in particular is really aimed at encouraging dads to be better dads. Yeah.
That's right. And again, congratulations to you and Damon last year being recognized as our Fathers of the Year. The fatherhood program is really focused on helping men become sustainable, supportive, sustainable, and nurturing fathers. That's really what we focus on. And we do this through a Nurturing Fathers curriculum, where each attendee comes through that program and gets supportive services. They also go through co-parenting. They get assistance with employment or housing that may break down some of the barriers that's preventing them from being their best self. Since 2008, we've served 4,700 fathers have come through the program, and that's impacted 10,000 children in our area. And it's really focusing on all the support that they need. One of the things that really sets our program, I think, apart is we have an in-house legal services. So we have a lawyer on staff that can support the fathers and really break down some of those barriers. And it's really trying to address the issues of absentee fathers and really improve the family structure.
And I should point out that you recognize Damon, and you'll recognize someone this year. And then you have this community father representative, and I was blessed to be selected as that. I think the year before, Zach Taylor,
that's correct,
from the Bengals was selected, and the list goes on and on. Damon, talk about the program and how it helped you.
When I first went to the program, it was for information, to gather information to see what I can do to be a better father. So me personally, I already believed I was a good father, but the more information you get, the better you can become. And then, so me and my children's mother, we were working good at the time, but then when it all fell apart, that's when I called upon a program, and they helped me multiple times to get custody of my kids. Yeah, they helped me tremendously. The moment I walked through the door, they set me down with a lawyer. He told me what I was gonna have to do. He helped me with the paperwork. He said, all you gotta do is go file, and we'll take it from there. And that's exactly what happened. And I put in the work, and I got custody of my kids.
Yeah.
They made it much easier.
And you have how many kids?
I have 3.
3 kids, yeah. That's wonderful. Let's talk about this year's program. It is June 5th.
That's correct, Curtis. Yeah, we have a fatherhood celebration, and each year, as you mentioned, we celebrate 2 fathers. One from the community, at which you received recognition from last year. This year, it's George Vincent, a partner at Dinsmore and Shoal. He's been a pillar in our community and done so much. And then Eric Spots, who graduated from the program. We always recognize a graduate like Damon, and Eric's been a big active member of the Fatherhood Project. And it's on June the 5th, 4:30 to 6:30 at Memorial Hall, so right downtown. Tickets are still available, and we would love for anyone to join. Bring your father or father figure and participate. one of the great things about this program, Curtis, is all the money that we raise at this event in support of the Hatton Foundation goes toward making this no cost for the fathers that participate. And this is $1,000 per person to go through the program, so no father has to pay to get these services that help them.
We were talking offline here about how difficult now it is in just funding. I mean, keeping a program like this going, and others that Talbert House does. It's more challenging now than ever before.
It's been stressful times, but we are continuing to advocate for the great work that we do and other community partners do in this space. And this is one that really the communities come and supported, the Fatherhood Project, and they make this project happen. We couldn't do it without this event and really impact those 10,000 kids and 4,700 fathers that we've been able to do without this. So we'd love for anyone to join us and participate in that event. And you can check us out at talberthouse.org and find a ticket on that.
That's great. I look forward to joining you again this year and just sitting in the back this time as Zach Taylor did last year, which was a surprise to all of us, you know. He walked up to me and he introduced himself to me. I said, I think I know who you are. But that's great. Any last words from you about the importance of the Fatherhood program?
If you need any help at all, most definitely go to the Talbert House. They'll be there to help you. I mean, you have to put in the work yourself, but get there.
That's a great endorsement. A great endorsement. All right. Hey, thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you June 5th, 4:30 to 6:30 at Memorial Hall. Tickets are still available. We'll be back in a moment.
The fact that I've been involved in medicine, education, variety of other things, because Odell got educated.
The legacy of the late Dr. Odell Owens lives on through a scholarship named in his honor at the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation. Dr. Owens often shared his own story of overcoming adversity, encouraging young people to believe that with determination, they too could overcome their challenges and succeed.
You know, Curtis, my involvement in the community was never from an oath or a pledge. It's from a promise to my heart. That kid that came from the West End that had nothing, hit rock bottom. When I flunked out of Walnut Hills, my family was rock bottom. And yet, I've gotten some modicum of success because people helped me. And I never gave up my faith that I wanted to go to college. I didn't want to be poor in the West End.
Dr. Owens was a pioneer in medicine and is remembered by many as a trailblazer and community giant. He made a career of public service. Among many positions he held over the years, he served as Hamilton County Coroner, President of Cincinnati State, and Medical Director of the Cincinnati Health Department. The Scholarship Fund is a testament to his lifelong commitment to young people, education, and social justice.
That's what I want young kids to understand, that no one should put you in a box. No one should write you off.
Tell me about this scholarship.
So during COVID, he pretty much realized life is too short. And he was working for probably, 40 plus years. And he said, you know what, it's time to hang it up. So he told me, yeah, I'm going to retire from Interact for Health. So he did during COVID. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they weren't able to throw his retirement party until, I want to say, 9 months after. So when his retirement party happened, Interact for Health gifted him with a $25,000 scholarship, but it was in his name, to where the purpose of the scholarship was to help underprivileged, single-family, African-American or Hispanic that were within Cincinnati Public Schools, to help them get into college. Some of the barriers, not just grades, but also finances, where some kids would tell their guidance counselor, you know, my parent doesn't have enough to send me to school, or I have to work 2 jobs in order to get to continue into college. So my father saw that, and that was something that he was passionate about. So the fund was created, I want to say back in 2021. And then unfortunately, my father's passing, we all forgot about it. And it wasn't until Amy Thompson from Cincinnati Youth Collaborative reminded me that, you know, your father has a scholarship in his name. So I connected with Whitney O'Neill at the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation, and we tried to figure out ways to revamp that scholarship because he would have wanted to work on that now that he was retired, but he just didn't get the chance to. So I felt like I had to take the mantle and to see what we can do. And one of the things that we're trying to do is build that scholarship up. So far, there have been 3 scholarship recipients. One's about to graduate. One is looking to graduate as well and going to get her master's, and one is, believe, starting his sophomore year at Morehouse and is traveling overseas, I believe. So we want to make sure that there are more opportunities for these kids just to give them a chance. And, you know, one of them that was actually interviewed by Channel 5 said, I would have never made it if it wasn't for this scholarship. I would have never gotten to UC. So right now, we're just trying to build up this scholarship. We're trying to get it endowed. We are almost there. And we have actually expanded, not to just Cincinnati Public Schools, but to Newport Independent Schools, Covington Independent, and hopefully in the years to come, we can spread that out to other school districts. It is comforting to know that he, as you heard him many times, he said what he wanted on his epitaph was he made a difference. And he has, you know, to have his name on a school, to have his name on a building, to have a street with his mural. He has a park in Northern Kentucky that has his name. So, you know, we're looking at the scramble, you know, board and saying what's missing. Scholarship fund, you know, soon, who knows, it could be a statue, it could be a wing at a hospital. But it's just very, for me, it's comforting to know that his memory still continues. And that's why we're empowered to continue this scholarship fund, because he would want us to help make a difference. I mean, he loves Cincinnati. When he graduated from Yale and Harvard, he could have went anywhere. We could have moved anywhere, but he chose to stay here in Cincinnati. So, you know, for me, I'm positive and I'm hopeful that people will still remember his name years after and still just contribute and keep his legacy going.
So you have this event coming up at the end of May. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so May 31st, we are putting our second annual, it's called Cincy Style, Come Celebrate with Dr. Odell Owens, and this is in lieu of the Scholarship Fund. It's going to be from 5:30 to 8 at the Masonic Center. If you'd like to join the VIP section, it does start an hour early at 4:30. Once we conclude the brief program with you emceeing, we're going to have Soul Pocket, Rock the House. If you are going to the Queens of R&B, we will provide shuttle service. I believe it's 2 trips to Heritage Bank Arena. So you can come party with us beforehand, already have your parking, and then after that, you can either walk 2 blocks or take the shuttle to go see the Queens of R&B. We're going to have a chef. We're going to have some auction items. What my father would want it is just to have a party, to not mourn on him, but to embrace and celebrate him. So this is something we're trying to do every year to help build that scholarship fund.
Cost, what's the cost?
So for the VIP ticket is $150. For the program itself is $125. However, now until the 26th, if you use my name, Chris with a capital C, there is a $25 off coupon on Eventbrite. So if you like to go to the VIP, you could go for $125. If you just want to come and celebrate, hear the program, hear Soul Pocket before going to the concert, you can do it for $100 through me.
And just finally, Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation has, for those who might not be familiar with it, it's an organization been around for over 100 years. A lot of scholarships are under this umbrella, and it really serves quite a few students throughout Greater Cincinnati.
It does. I believe they have over 1,400 scholarships, and actually one of the Odell Owens recipient actually has another scholarship to help her, I believe, through grad school as well. So, yeah, they are what's the word I'm looking for? They are an uncovered gem here in Cincinnati that everyone knows. Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Hale Foundation, Northern Kentucky's Horizon, but no one knows about the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation. So this is a great way for them to reach more audiences and get more well known so that more kids can take advantage of these scholarships that are available to them.
Since 2015, the Cincinnati Jazz Hall of Fame has recognized Cincinnati's rich jazz history by honoring great musicians and presenting scholarships to local students. One of the founders is Kay Casey.
Well, personally, my mother was a piano teacher, and she played jazz every night after dinner. And so I knew all of those songs from years ago, from the 20s and 30s and 40s. But when I came to Cincinnati, well, for the second time, and went up to the Celestial and was listening to jazz with Lee Stoller and Mary Ellen Tanner and John Von Olen, I really appreciated the music and saw everyone was getting older. And the musicians were saying, the big problem is advertising. It was too expensive. The Enquirer, they couldn't afford it, and the restaurants didn't want to do it either. So I started a telephone, and then later with the advent of emails, with an email to send out the gigs. And the musicians send me their gigs, even currently, which started with 6 girlfriends, and now I call it my 650 list. And it's more than 650 local. It's a targeted market, jazz fans that get it. It's free to the musicians to send me their gigs. It's free to fans like you to get the information. Free works. So anyway, I was at the Celestial and talking to John Von Olen, and he was so excited one day, and this was the spring of 2014, and he said, I'm being inducted into the Indianapolis Jazz Hall of Fame. And he said, wouldn't it be nice if Cincinnati had a Jazz Hall of Fame?
And we should note that John was one of the greatest drummers ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, he was with Stan Kenton, all of the big bands. Yes, from Cincinnati, he's the most well-known drummer, probably, but we've got lots of good ones,
We
too.
sure do. Art Gore.
Exactly. Well, Sue Brown came aboard as a volunteer, and she said she always wanted a program like this. She's a jazz musician, and she was affiliated with the jazz department at Xavier and also UC. And she started it, and it started with a scholarship, a $1,000 scholarship, and we're giving 5 now every year, and that is sponsored by the Elsa Sewell Foundation. They give us $5,000 to cover that every year.
June 1st
Yes.
is this year's event.
Yes.
Walk me through June 1st, who's being inducted, where it will take place, time, and cost.
Okay. It is going to be at the Mayerson Community Center. That's located at Ridge Road and Ronald Reagan. Very easy to find, huge parking lot, free parking lot. It's on a Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5 o'clock. And we are having a reception for the inductees and their families before that, and for our members. It is $25 ahead of time. You can go online to our website and get tickets. Or you can get tickets there. It's $30 there and $10 for students. We have 4 inductee candidates. One is Dave Matthews, and Dave has been in Japan. He's living there permanently. He's coming here to receive his induction. And a second arranger is Patsy Myers, and she's a singer, songwriter, arranger. She was in Los Angeles for 17 years. She's currently in Cincinnati, and she's doing teaching with the Cincinnati Arts Association and also playing around town. And then we have Greg Chacot, who's a wonderful guitarist. And he spent a lot of time also in Japan, China, Singapore. And the last person is Joe Rogers. And Joe Rogers is a pianist. He's never left Cincinnati. He's always performed here. And he was with the band at the Beverly Hills Supper Club, if you remember that. And he was there the night of the fire when it burned down. Yeah, that was tragic. And he's been also the pianist with Paul Wagner, who's a very well-known band here in town. And he's been with the Playhouse and the Symphony, and just an all-round Cincinnati musician. And then we have 5 scholarship winners. And then, of course, we are giving, the first time ever, a lifetime award to Carmen De Leon. And Carmen started out like you in classical and a French horn, and went into being a drummer and went through rock and roll and into jazz, and then into actually being the conductor at the symphony, and then also now at the ballet.
Again, the Hall of Fame induction and scholarship program is Sunday, June 1st at 3 p.m. at the Mayerson Community Center. That does it for the program. I'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy. Until then, have a good day and a better day tomorrow.